Can we all see that? So this is the Rate My Team section. This is where the YouTube video will start. So everyone who's watching on YouTube, thanks very much for joining us. If you want your team rated live, then send your team in. And it's more priority if you're actually here in the stream. So people who are watching get top priority. However, Tom, China Tom, my old FPL mate, has sent us a link to his team saying, please do my team last. He said, go on then, can you do mine last? That way I can find it easy when I play back. Fuck you, we're doing your team first. Don't tell me what to do. All right. We've got Ryan, Robertson, Van Dijk, Dean, Lundstrom. As a defense, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Van Dijk and Robertson are going to be playing Newcastle, which is great. Why would you leave them? The only thing is you have both of the players that people are substituting out, transferring out to get Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think it's a big issue in your team right now. If you want to and you've got enough money, Robertson to Trent would be great. But I think that's now a 0.2 million difference, so that might be a bit of an issue. But it's not a fire, really. Not having Trent is not the same as not having Pukki, right? He might get an assist against Newcastle. Robertson might get a goal. We just don't know. So I wouldn't jump on him right now. I think you're golden. Ryan is good for another 2 game weeks, like we talked about already in previous streams. Ryan's got Burnley at home and then Newcastle away. After that, yes, it's time to kind of substitute him out. Pope is a great example of someone who you could just easily jump to, no worries. There's a few other ones. Leno, if you've got 0.5 million. Who else? Heaton even has a few decent fixtures. So yeah, I think Ryan, game week 2 or game week 6. After that, I'll go through it because I'll be in the same boat as you. I've got Ryan. Dean and Lundstrom. Playing Lundstrom, you've actually got Diop and Cantwell on the bench. Diop against Aston Villa or Lundstrom against Southampton. I would play Lundstrom, so I think I'm in the same boat as you. With that thought process, like Lundstrom is out of position. He's been playing really well. His stats are good, and West Ham have the worst expected goals against. So Lundstrom every day of the week. The problem is you don't have Zinchenko or you don't have any City defense, so that's going to be an issue. But don't worry about that too much. And then you've got Dean, which is fine. It'd be a fire if you didn't have Dean, so we're all good. So your defense is not bad. I would expect you to Lundstrom potentially get a clean sheet. 1, 2, 3. Ryan maybe not. Dean maybe not. I wouldn't be surprised if every one of them got some returns. So that's pretty good. Your midfield is pretty standard. Lanzini is a punt. Lanzini is not their best midfielder, but he has been playing really, really well, and he's got a few returns for you, I'm sure. It's Anderson has been looking incredible the last few games though, right? Like Anderson on that left wing has just been bossing it, and it's so weird because most of us who played last year have got this like feeling like, oh, he did so bad last year for so long that we don't want to jump in on him. But right now Lanzini's a good pick, and West Ham still have good fixtures. And let's quickly look at the fixtures just to show that. Where is West Ham? Bam, 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 bam. Is this what I'm talking about? It thingies it. So West Ham there. Aston Villa, Man United, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. Not bad. If we big that up for a bit longer, they kind of drop down a little bit. But if we take the 2 bad fixtures away, they're still got second. So that's still a punt that you could hold on to for a while, right? Lanzini or any West Ham attacker, they have second best fixtures from now until game week 12. So not an issue at all. Zorba, I just noticed that you sent my team. You have just followed. You've sent your team in. You've done everything I asked you to do. I think we'll do your team next. So just hold on for that. We're pretty much finished your team, Tom. Lanzini's a decent shout. Just keep him. You don't really need to do anything different. Barnes and Pukki, like we just discussed for fucking half an hour, Barnes is pretty amazing. You can totally leave him in your team, and he'll do bits in the next couple of game weeks. And then Pukki is a must-have. So I think your team's banging, man. Just leave it. No transfers, and we'll discuss Ryan in a couple game weeks. And hopefully Lundstrom does something. And then in Cantwell, I'm pretty sure Cantwell has a decent fixture game week 6, right? If I'm not mistaken. Where are Norwich? Burnley away. Yeah, so from attacking point of view, I think that's pretty good, considering how many shots that Burnley do concede. All right, next team. Thank you very much for sending that in, buddy. I appreciate it. And I'll put it on my team in between, so you can see that. There we go. Bam. Who was asking for that? Was it you? Zorba. There you go. That's my team right now. We'll go over my transfers on Thursday. Alright. Zorba, let's have a look at your team now. James, I think this is working really well. I think this is working pretty good. Alright. Bam. Can we see that okay? Yeah, you guys are fine. Awesome. Alright. You will play wildcard this game? You're playing your wildcard this week? I don't know if you need to do that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I don't think you need to do that. Just looking at your team just now. Okay, so you've got Pope in goals. That's fine. Absolutely great. Just keep him. You've got Zinchenko, Van Dijk, Robertson, and Lundstrom. And you can play those with Kelly on the bench. That's also fine. You've got 2.2 million in the bank, so we gotta remember that. And you've got free transfer still. Salah, De Bruyne, Cantwell, Dendoncker, Martial, and then Kane and Callum up front. All right. Bournemouth's fixtures actually aren't that bad. Let's have a quick peek at those. I'm going to close these guys. For the next 3 fixtures, 2.2 in the bank. Yeah, that's quite a lot, right? Look, in the next 3 fixtures, Bournemouth are 4th best, right? I think their 4th fixture is really bad, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's Arsenal. It's not that great. So Everton and Arsenal in the next 4 is a bit rubbish. But for the next 3 fixtures, you can totally keep Wilson. He hasn't blanked yet. He's 5, 5, 5, and 5. He's bound to score a goal soon. I think you could totally just keep him. I don't think that's a fire at all. Kane has okay fixtures. Crystal Palace at home is a good fixture. Leicester away isn't that great. And then Southampton. You could keep Kane for 1 more game, see how he does, and then trade to Aubameyang. Right? That's something you could do. So we don't need to worry about Kane. The only thing is that you're playing a 4-4-2, and you have to play Cantwell or Dendoncker. Martial's going to be back this game week, or he's going to be on the bench. So that's not that's a bit of an issue, right? But you have 1 fire in your team, and that's having to play Cantwell or Dendoncker, right? Can anyone in the chat see any other fires in this team? Am I just losing my mind? Like, why would you ever wildcard? Save that wildcard. Even if you took all your fires out. I know one of the fires you're thinking is you don't have Trent, right? That's fine. You don't have Trent, okay? That's 1. You have to play Cantwell or Dendoncker or Kelly or Greenwood as your 11th man. So one of your bench fodders you have to play, right? That's fire 2. Is that it? That's it. You have a great keeper. You have great defense, especially for this game week. Jimmy says he doesn't like his front line, but it isn't a fire. I'm the exact same line. Like, you could potentially do a -4 if you really hate Kane. If you hate Kane, you want him out of your team. You fucking you know what you could do? You could just upgrade to Aubameyang. Just go Kane to Aubameyang, and how much is that left? How much have you got left? 1.1. Mate, come on now, right? We could go Kane to Aguero, and then Dendoncker to McGinn, right? 4.4, 4.5 to 5.6 is 1.1, and then how much is Aguero? 12.1. You have exact amount of money to go Kane to Aguero, and and Dendonker to Barnes, or not Barnes, Dendonker to McGinn, right? That seems like a pretty good deal. What do we think? Are you still in the stream? Zorbs, talk to me. Aguero not at rotation risk now. Jesus is back. Yeah, he's a rotation risk, but he's gonna start. He's gonna play 60 minutes every game from now on. But he's amazing. And if it doesn't work out, you've got your wild card. But I wouldn't use your wild card right now. If you don't want Aguero, consider just leaving Kane in for another game week, and then look at Aubameyang, because Aubameyang's away and Kane's at home. So I would play Kane, and then next game week, Aubameyang's home against Aston Villa, who have a very leaky defense, and you can do that. So right now, if you just want to use your one free transfer, you could do Dendonker to, if we're not looking at Aguero at all, you could do Dendonker to anyone. You could do him to Ceballos. You could do him to Lanzini. I think you can even afford and Felipe Anderson. Any number of 7.7s. Hold on, let me jump into this real quick. Let's look together, you guys. Come on, this is a great team, by the way. Thank you so much for sending it in. Right, Dendonker, you've got him at 4.5, so that means 7.7 you can afford, right? So let's move this up a little bit. 7.7, and then do it by price. Perfect. All right, you can afford. You've got Martial. You could afford everyone below this line. You could even get David Silva. Now, I probably wouldn't get him, but you could. You can afford Madison, who's got good fixtures coming up game week 9 onwards. You could afford Zaha, although I probably wouldn't go for that. Yeah, Felipe Anderson, 6.9. So he's went down in price, so you're saving money there. Lanzini's still a good shout. Tielemans in game week 9's a good shout. Isn't it 6.7? Or am I talking out my ass? Oh, it is 6.7. Oh, fuck. Alright, fine. Fine. Who can we afford then? 6.7. You're right, it's raw. I'm shit at maths. Apologies. Oh, we're 0.2 away from Felipe. That's gutting. That's gutting. Oh, wait, no. What, you could do that. You could change Cantwell, right? If you really wanted to. If you really wanted to go for him, you could do that. And you could afford Felipe Anderson. But right now, like, you could go for Mount. You could just do Mount. Or James, who seems to be doing really, really well for Manchester United. You could afford him, no problem. I don't think it's worth wildcarding, Zorba. I'm so glad that you joined the stream, because honestly, your team is good. Your team is really good. Don't you worry about it. Don't wildcard. I wouldn't wildcard. Your wildcard's really precious. It means that you could probably change one or two things, keep your wildcard, and then wildcard with me in game week 9. Or keep it for longer. See how long you can go for. James scored for Wales tonight. See? He's doing well. There's things you can do, man. So Dendonker to James, play James, keep Kane, see how Kane does game week 5, change to Aubameyang. Your defense is fine. You don't have Dean. You could probably afford Dean if you downgraded Robertson, and that means you could upgrade Van Dijk to Trent if you wanted. So yeah, I think you're golden, man. You've got so many options. Thank you for sending me your team. I appreciate that loads. Right, who's next, buddy? Let's have a look. Bam. Oh, that was green. There we go. All right. Next we have Liam. Liam, are you still in the chat? Bam. Oh, we can't see your team. Right, hold on. You always send me your team and it's always massive. I don't know what you use. Probably a Mac. Okay, so Foster to Pope. That's who you were talking to. You're talking to me about a little bit earlier, which is perfect. I think Pope's a great choice. You've got Lanzini, who we were discussing. You've got pretty much the same bench, or the same back line as most folk to Liverpool. Zinchenko and Dean, which is pretty good. Martial's coming back, which is great. You've got Barnes, who I love. You've got Pookie. You've got at least enough people on the bench I think your team's golden, man. As I said earlier, Foster to Pope this week, but I really want Kevin De Bruyne, and the plan is to 3-5-2 eventually. Is looking for a 6.5 to 5.5 for a fifth midfielder as decent returns. I like that idea. You could leave Robertson in just now, and then if you want to go 3-5-2, you could go Van Dijk, Zinchenko, and Dean. Downgrade Robertson to Lundstrom or something, and then upgrade Den Donker. So that's going to take you three fixtures. So game week 4 to game week 5, which is what we're in right now. Get rid of Foster, go Pope. I think that's a great fixture, a great transfer. And then the next transfer, downgrade Robertson to someone, and we can discuss who that is going to be. But Lundstrom is a good downgrade for someone on the bench. And then game week 6 to 7, you've got another free transfer, and at that point we can upgrade Den Donker to whoever we want. Right? You're gonna have about 2.5 million to play with, so about 7 million for any player you want in midfield, which is pretty good, right? I feel like we don't even have to waste more time. Your team is pretty template. It's gonna do well, and you're gonna have Pope in there, which is gonna be banging for game week 5. So I think your plans all come together, man. Thank you very much for sending your team. Do you like my background? I don't know why this left. Where were we? That was McGinn. That was my team. Here we go. All right. Thanks very much for sending your team, buddy. We'll do one more, because it's nearly 90 minutes, or just over 90 minutes. Thank you everyone who sent their team in. Appreciate it. James, thank you very much for modding, buddy. It's been good. Is there any ones that you think would be great for our last two? I'm going to do Paul because I missed his last week and he sent his team in specifically for me. So let's do that. And James, if you could have a look and get the last one, and we'll see who the best one is for last. All right, Paul, thanks for sending your team. Let's have a look here. Wildcards available, that's good. So you've actually got the two players rotating keepers. That's interesting. Let me see, did you say anything? Would like to hear your insight. I'm thinking Allaire in for King and downgrade Ceballos to a bench, or Martial and add Lanzini. I think we could keep Martial just now. So you're playing a 3-5-2? Who's that? Oh man, you're here. Thank you very much for joining the stream. I didn't even know you were here. Did you follow? You did follow. Ah, it was yourself 36 minutes ago. Thank you so much, buddy. I didn't realize you were the same person, which is weird because you have the exact same name, Peastwood. Right. Thinking Allaire for King and downgrade Ceballos to bench. I don't think that's necessary. I think keep Ceballos one more game week, see how he does. King to Allaire is a great shout, although you do need money for that. Why not downgrade Pickford? You're doubling up in Everton, which is good. I think that's a good choice, but we have to remember those fixtures are getting a little bit worse for Everton. Everton have been doing really well. They've got 2 clean sheets in 4. But in the next 4 game weeks, Everton are, middle of the road. You can see them there, right? Bournemouth away. They probably will clean. Sheffield United, they might clean, but then they've got Man City home, Burnley away. If you downgraded Pickford for Pope, you could rotate Pope and Heaton fairly well, and it would give you 1 million to do King to Allaire. Is that enough? No, Allaire's 7.5. Actually, no, what? I don't think you've got enough. That wouldn't work. Oh no, he's 6.5. No, you'd be 1.1 million off. That's annoying. And that's why we need to be Ceballos. What about a Maguire downgrade? I'm trying not to downgrade Ceballos because you've obviously brought him in recently, and he's not a mistake. And you've got a really, really good I mean, you're going to be playing 3-5-2, right? So you don't need one of your defenders, and you've got a lot of money in there to put one on the bench. And if you're not playing a 3-5-2, that means you're either putting Ceballos on the bench, which I don't think is a good idea, or Martial, who might be playing Maguire to Lundstrom, it's Raw says. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maguire to Lundstrom, and Lundstrom first on the bench, and then they could be playing a 3-5-2. And then with your wild card, we can deal with the Pickford Heaton thing. I don't think, if you're going to go a premium goalkeeper, and I know Pickford's not exactly premium, but he's expensive enough that you don't need cover. He's going to be playing every game. If he does get injured during a game, then you know he's going to at least start that game, so you're not going to have anyone coming in for him anyway. And if he gets injured midweek, then we'll hear about it and we can deal with that before the game even starts, right? So I don't think you need Heaton as cover. I think you're going to be playing Pickford every game anyway, unless he comes up against a big team. So it's actually 1.5 million that you're kind of wasting with Pickford, or 0.5 million you're wasting with Heaton. Just thought King needed to go. No, King definitely needs to go. You're absolutely right about that. I think King needs to go. So if we say that Heaton is not a good choice right now for first keeper, so losing Pickford and you still don't have enough for Allaire, it's just not worth it, right? But you could go Maguire to Lundstrom, right? FPL Today says cheap sub keeper. I definitely agree. But we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later, right? It's not huge. It's not a huge deal. Oh, and PS FPL Today, thank you very much for joining the stream, buddy. I haven't seen you chatting recently, but it's good to have you on board. And you followed. When was that? It was Thursday, right? You followed, or maybe a couple of days ago. Definitely. So you're new around these parts. Thank you very much for joining us, buddy. King has to go. He's a fire. He has good fixtures, but he just isn't playing in the right places. He's not playing as a 4-4-2 anymore. He's like on the bench, which is so weird. So I like the Maguire Lundstrom, right? You're playing a 3-5-2, but you have 4 premium defenders. And I think Ceballos is going to play and bang this week, especially since Watford have, you know, a new manager and a new, more attacking manager than before, and blah 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 blah. So I reckon that's a good idea to just jump in right off the bat, downgrade Maguire, because let's face it, they've been conceding way more than they should do. They kind of gave us a false sense of security the first couple of games. They do have the least XGA, which is kind of annoying, right? Because they, like, I can show you that right now. If we go to understats and we go to the Premier League and we go down, right, the team with the best expected goals is Manchester United. They've got just under 3, so they're underperforming with 4 goals against, which is annoying, right? Especially if you brought them in recently. So I don't actually know what your where are you? I don't really know. Gunnar boy, 78. Welcome to the Fat Sexy Club. You're coming at just at the death of the stream, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Every stream goes up on YouTube anyway, so if you've missed anything, you haven't actually. It's probably easier to watch on YouTube because you can fast forward through all my shite. So yeah, like I was saying, I think downgrading Maguire, because Maguire's your worst defender out of those 4, right? Zinchenko, you're not going to downgrade. Dean's too good. Van Dijk's, you need Liverpool cover, especially against Newcastle. So yeah, downgrading Maguire, upgrade King to Allaire. You've got Lundstrom on the bench, waiting to jump in case Martial doesn't play or Ceballos doesn't play. I think that's pretty good. And Jimenez, I don't like Jimenez, but he's also the best Wolves player, and you've already got him, so I don't think that's an issue. And you can always downgrade to Barnes or something. If you want Allaire 100%, that's someone who you really, really want to, then you could absolutely do that. That's fine. But if you're okay with not having Allaire, you could downgrade Pickford, or Heaton rather. You could downgrade Heaton to a 4.0, keep everyone else in your team, and then upgrade King to Barnes, who, like we've said in this stream, is just fantastic. He's 5th best in terms of shots on target. He's 3rd for shots per 90. He's a beast, and he has the best fixtures in the next 4 games. So I think Barnes is a slightly better pick than Allaire, although we don't have a lot of, Barnes has played more games than Allaire, so it's a bit of a weird stat. You can't really compare them both. But I think if you really don't want to drop Maguire for whatever reason, then yeah, I think Barnes is a decent enough upgrade. The moment I drop Jimenez, he'll start scoring, but I agree. Yeah, I think just keep him for now. He's not a big fire. He's got okay fixtures, although they're totally on my don't go anywhere near list until at least game week 9. But you've held him for this long, and he did well last game week, so whatever. Zorb says, if you were to play your wild card now, who would be the ins and outs in your current team? Mate, I've told you before, you're not playing your wild card, right? Definitely not playing your wild card. The ins and outs of my team, right, real quick. I would take out Zuma, I'd take out Kelly, I'd take out Dendoncker, I'd probably take out Salah and get Mane and go for that onwards. But really, not much right now. Ryan I'd take out as well. So only 5 in my team. I probably wouldn't do much. I'm planning on doing my wildcard game week 9. There's not enough players in my team that I want to take out that would warrant a wildcard. But yeah, 5 players. Zuma, Kelly, Salah, Dendoncker, Ryan. Alright. Damn, I thought that question was going to take longer. Had him from the start, but thanks. Maguire to Allaire sounds good. Yeah, man. Definitely. Alright, last one. Last one. Let's have a look. This one looks interesting. Awesome. Whoa. It does look interesting. Holy shit. Wow, Emerson on the bench. Yeah, wildcard should be played when you really think the team needs work. Absolutely agree. Today, you seen me on YouTube. That's really cool. It's weird that you found me on YouTube and then came to the stream. It's usually the other way around, isn't it? Or Twitter or whatever. That's cool. It's cool that everyone can find me in different ways. Just the life of a star. I'm totally joking. Right, this team's fucking nuts. Mina and Dean. So a double up in a 3-5-2. You've got Emerson, but you're annoyed with him, although he is the best looking defender on Chelsea. Chelsea have got bad fixtures. Emerson hasn't done anything yet. I can totally see why you'd want to take him out. Did anything come with this team? Any chat? No? Son as a punt, I'm fine with. Mount, I'm fine with. De Bruyne, Sterling, Mane, fine with. Pookie and Barnes, totally golden up front. So your midfield and your strike force is fine. We don't really need to chat. I like to find fellow creators, so I'm usually looking. So you're one of those looking people, huh? You're looking for content. Well, you've absolutely found it. We are 100% the best content here on the FPL stream, and I never go on a tangent, and I don't talk to the chat about things that I'm not supposed to talk about, like why that is the best of the 3 Cornetto trilogy movies. We never talk about that. Emerson, Dean, Lundstrom, Mina, Kelly. Oh, that defense is so shit. Right. Who sent this? What was his name? I forgot. Cali. Mustafa. Thank you so much for sending your team, buddy. Your team is good up front. Your defense is horrible. So we're going to try and fix it right now. We never talk about Deulofeu too. Exactly. Deulofeu is never mentioned. Not once. The bastard. We all go on tangents, and what poster is that? That is... Funny you say about tangents. That is Shaun of the Dead. Is it easily... Can we see it? Can we see the beautiful... There he is. Lovely. Shaun of the Dead. Best comedy ever. Dave is one of the best FPL creators going. Fact. Yeah, man. I think I just spend a lot of time talking to you, Liam, and you're biased. I've seen you in Let's Talk FPL's stream. Don't think I haven't seen him. I've seen you. I'm only kidding, buddy. What are we doing with this team? Right, back on track. How do we fix this defense? Oh no, we're talking about Shaun of the Dead. I know you're talking about Shaun of the Dead. We can't do it. We can't do it. Hot Fuzz, I knew you were going to do it. No, it's not. It's not. We could be here all day. Honestly, we could be here all day. Right. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 50 minutes. let us fix this so I can say bye-bye, and then I will explain why you guys are wrong about Hot Fuzz, okay? So let's fix this for the YouTubes and for Khaled, who was very kind in sending his team in so we could talk about it. How are we fixing this defense? Tell me in this chat. Come on. We've got 2 Everton players. We've got Lundstrom, we've got Emerson, we've got Kelly. Emerson's potentially hurt. Kelly's potentially hurt. Mina and Dean are very, very, very... it's a double up that you don't need to be doing right now. Considering you have no Liverpool defenders, you have no City defenders. Sorry, fix the team. Mina out for Otamendi. Dump Son to McGinn and reinvest the cash. I feel like Son was probably brought in really recently, so that's a transfer out for a transfer in. He obviously didn't start Son, right? And Son's got decent fixtures, and he doesn't have many punts in his team other than his defense. His whole defense is a fucking punt. Need a Liverpool defender for attacking potential with clean sheets. I wonder whose that is that you're talking about. Yeah, so we don't know right now if he's got any money in the bank. Let's assume he doesn't, right? I would probably take a hit. I would probably go Emerson and Mina out. Emerson up to Trent is a lot. And then Mina would need to be downgraded to a 4.0. But that's fine, right? Because Emerson's now currently on the bench, so not a big deal. Burnley defender in, obviously. Yeah, so like we said, Peters is a great shout. Loughton is a great shout. But he has Pope already, Gunnar. So we don't really need to double up in Burnley defence, because he has Pope. The only players that I would say to keep in there, like FPL Today says, is Dean and Lundstrom. Lundstrom's decent, and he can go on the bench. Good shout for their fixtures. Yeah, absolutely. Burnley, like we said, loads and loads and loads and loads. Burnley have the best fixtures going forward. But he does have Pope, so we're covered there. It's going to be really difficult to get Trent. I don't know how much he has in the bank. You know what? Jimbo, Jim Bob, Jimmy Jim Jim. I think reinvesting might be the only way forward. But for right now, I think I would honestly drop Emerson for Maitland-Niles. Stick him in the team instead of Mina, and then reassessed. Gilherm? Who the fuck is Gilherm? Dave, you're like my go-to guy when it comes to FPL. Oh, thanks, buddy. I love you, Liam. You're so nice. Gilherm. Oh, is that Gilbert? Are you talking about Gilbert? Oh, correct. Yeah, is it Gilbert for Aston Villa? I do like him. We talked about him a lot on the stream earlier. It's just clean sheets, right? Emerson for Gilbert. Yeah. Gilbert or Maitland-Niles, or potentially, if you can afford it, Otamendi is a great shout. I think someone already said that. Yeah, Zorba said Mina out for Otamendi. Yeah, Mina out for Otamendi or Emerson if Emerson's fucked. Villa don't interest me at all. Well, Jimmy, Villa interest me, alright. No, Villa don't interest me, but McGinn does. That's the thing. And it might be even just be a Scottish biasness, but I don't know. FPL General brought him in, he's doing well. So I feel like that's a good go-to. Let me see. Pope, Otamendi, Lundstrom, Dean. That's a decent defense for Game Week 5, and then we can deal with Emerson later. Emerson is such low owned that he won't be going down in price, and we can even check that, right? Let's check. James, you were right. This was a very interesting team. Emerson is got 2.6% owned, and even though he was told that he was injured, he's at 17.4 for out of 100. So until he gets to 100, he's not going to go down in price. So I feel like you're safe just having him on the bench, which is the whole reason why you've got a bench in the first place, right? So yeah, I think Zorba has got it. I think that's the best thing to do. You'd even save money, right? Zinchenko, if you think he's kept his place. Yeah, Mina to Zinchenko, or wait, is Zinchenko went up in price? Didn't he go up in price? 5.6. How much is Mina? It doesn't matter. I don't think Mina's went up twice. I'd be very, very, very shocked if Mina went up in price twice, not just once. So unfortunately, that Mina that he has is 5.5, so he can't afford unless he's got 0.1 in the bank. So yeah, Otamendi. Just get Otamendi. Really, really easy. Super easy. Right. We've saved his team. The stream has saved his team. Well done, Zorba. I think that's probably the best shout. If you've got 0.1 in the bank, I'd probably prefer Zinchenko over Otamendi. So decent suggestions there. And if you've got fucking 2 million in the bank, then it's Trent all the way. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining the stream, for sending your team in, for retweeting, following, having a laugh with me. I really, really do enjoy these streams, because despite me not doing that well in the actual game, I'll have a bad week and I'll come in and I'll stream, and you guys are such a laugh and it's quite a fun time. So yeah, fuck it, like this is great. I'm gonna keep streaming. We've got loads of things coming out. Like I said at the start, my Monday after article's coming out, so just watch out on Twitter for that. It's basically what we covered tonight, but in like small chunks, easily digested, and that's going to be on Fantasy Football Scout either today or tomorrow. I'll probably retweet it tomorrow morning. Next thing is on Wednesday, I was talking with Loftus Cheek FPL community. I'm gonna go find out who that is. I keep forgetting what his actual thing is. FPL community, FPL community's choice. Is that who it is? No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh man, does anyone know? I've forgotten already. That's so shit of me. I'm such an asshole. I'm such an asshole. You're doing worse, 2 points behind me. Ugh, we're doing fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh no, I had such a good It's FPL community. I was right the first time. FF community _ Holly Shander name is. So I was talking to her, and I was talking to FPL General and Loftus and Cheek, Mr. Loftus James Copland, on the Fantasy Bet website, podcast that they do for fantasy bet called Fantasy Weekly. We talking about Holly. Yeah. I was on a podcast with her. We recorded on Sunday. I think they're gonna be releasing it on Wednesday, so that's awesome. So we've got the article coming out tomorrow. We've got then on Wednesday we've got the podcast coming out for Fantasy Weekly, and then on top of that we've got another stream on Thursday where I'm gonna be going over my transfers and my plans. And then we'll be doing a Q&A. I think is probably the best thing to do there. So yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. It's been awesome. I've really enjoyed this stream. We met a lot of new people. We've got 5 whole new followers, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So great. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye. Bye. Cheers. Bye. Forgotten anything? Nope. Bye.